Hi, everyone. My name is Robin Kessler, and I am a clinical aromatherapist. And I have been doing this for about 10 years. And my specialty is actually working with those in hospice. And I have been using essential oils and frankincense resins, and I've been doing a lot of research on the resins to be used for chronic uh, diseases. And I'm going to explain some of the findings that I've had that I've worked with individuals testing what is called Boswellic Acid Extract, which comes from the distillation when the resin is distilled. I'm going to be using a PowerPoint and I will be explaining certain of things that I'm doing. So right now I'm going to share my screen so I can bring up the PowerPoint presentation and then you'll get to see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start the slideshow. Before I share my screen, I just want to set it up so that you can see me better. And then I'm going to share my screen. So now you'll get to see me on the bottom or on the side as you see me here. And this way I can talk to you besides showing you different things. So let's get started. Let's go into the slideshow. Let's go from the beginning. So I'm going to be talking to you about Frankincense Boswellia sacra and carteri. AKBA is actually what the boswellic acid is called and how I've been using it for chronic conditions. The boswellic acid is in a powder form. It looks just like this. So it's all powdered. What happens is after distillation, there is an aftermath left at the bottom, and then it's dried, and then it's made into a powder. So what is it? As I just explained, I'm going to go deeper in what it is. Where does it come from? How is it being used in treatment of chronic diseases? As I said, it's the aftermath or the after boil that is at the bottom of the still once the essential oil and hydrosol is removed. Inside this biomass is the boswellic acid extract chemical. It's too heavy a molecule to pass through into the essential oil and hydrosol. This is basically what it looks like when it comes out of the still. It's very, very hard. Then it's broken down and grounded into this fine powder as I'm showing to you now. So what is boswellic acid made up of? The BA doesn't pass through the distillation due to the low virality. Virality being the affinity for molecules with their environment and their proposition to turn from solid liquid to gas phase. This loosely correlates with polarity and molecule weight. This is why an essential oil has mainly low molecule weight non-polar molecules. Polarity is a concept similar to magnetism. Molecule will have electron going in their structure, and depending on how the atoms are arranged, some will pull more, thus creating a higher density electron pool. This acts as a small magnet that can fit into one another like fridge magnets with a positive and negative pole. Water is very polar, the electron pulling around the oxygen atom. Boswellic acid is not very polar, the larger tritopenic part being like a desert, since carbon tends to be more or less May on electric pull-ons. The few oxygen atoms there and here have little impact on the large pool of neurology. This is why we say the molecule is mainly nonpolar. So a nonpolar molecule, in short, Ba, boswellic acid, will have poor solubility in a polar solvent in water, but a better solubility in a non-polar solvent carrier oil. The powder cannot mix with water. It basically floats to the top. This is basically what the Ba looks like in the molecule itself. And there are no GC reports for the boswellic acid. What they use is called a standard, and it's made up of all these chemicals that you see here. And when you add all these up, you get the total amount of boswellic acid that is in the powder. We have seen, if you go online, you can see different experiments being done with Serrata. The problem with using Serrata and why I didn't use it is because in the resin and in the essential oil, there is a chemical called estradiol, which works on the platelets in the blood. And those on blood thinners and heart medicine should not be using this resin or essential oil because it will thin the blood out more and the person can hemorrhage. Since I don't know who has tested the Ba to see if this chemical is in it, I decided to stay away from Serrata altogether. And that's what you basically see it sold in stores in capsules is Serrata. A study entitled Comparative Analysis of Penicyl Tripenic Acid Components in the oligum resins of different Boswellia species was conducted by one study. And this study showed in the resin the percentage of Ba that's in it. Of course, there's other chemicals in the resin. The boswellic acid only stays back in the aftermath because of the fact it is too heavy a molecule to go through the distillation in the essential oil or the hydrosols. I put up some studies that I had found on the boswellic acid. They were anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer activities of frankincense, the treatments, and what they were looking for, and the studies I put up here. And if you go into online to here, you can find hundreds of studies on boswellic acid. When I found these studies, I decided that I was going to experiment with it and see how exactly it can be used. And I brought in 10 testers to test it for me in different ways. This way, as you see here, was put in a simple lotion, and it looks just like this. And it was mixed in here, and it was applied. And I'm going to go through the studies in a little bit. Also, it was used and put in a carrier oil of jojoba and infused in here for about 2 weeks and then strained and given to our testers this way. And then there's another way to use it, and that's with a capsule, and you basically put it into a 0-0 capsule. And what we basically did is give it to the testers either once or twice a day. The BA was given to, as I said, several testers in different forms for over a 6-month period in the lotion and the carrier oils, and experiment with outstanding results. It was used for conditions as well for pain and muscle joints, and it was in some cases ingested. The results came out outstanding. I do have a testimonial page, and since I only have 30 minutes to go through this, if I gave you all the data, it would take hours, but I do have it in a Word document and a PDF document, and it's still being tested, and I can give this out to whoever would like to see it. The Boswellic acid, and I'm going to call it BA because it's easier, has anti-inflammatory properties. It is great in any type of cosmetic product and blends beautifully in lotions and carrier oils. I found it excellent for chronic pain, especially for those who have arthritis, stenosis, and as well as fibromyalgia. I put it in different I did different extract acids on it, and I'm going to explain what happened with each of it. We used it in a 70-year-old man who has stenosis. The powder was put into the white lotion and applied 3 times a day to his back for pain. The patient has been experiencing chronic pain for about 10 years on numerous pain prescription meds, including taking CBD with no real relief. Patient is not a candidate for surgery and didn't want surgery. The results were, after using for 1 week, pain was almost gone, and patient could take walks without excruciating pain that he was having. After 1 month of continuous use, pain was minimal. His own words, I used it on my lower back, and within minutes, the pain is gone. I personally like it in the granules, in the lotion. It gets deeper and stays in longer. I'm now using it in a vegetable capsule 2 times a day with a full glass of water, and pain is basically gone. I stopped using it and found the pain started to come back, so I went back to 1 times a day, and now it keeps the pain minimal. I had given this to others that used it for this very similar reason, and it's also helping them with their chronic pain. This one was also for arthritis. We use Boswellia sacra BA extract in this case, as well as the other. It was a female in her 50s with chronic arthritic pain. The Boswellic sacra BA powder was given to her again in the unscented lotion. She had chronic arthritis in her hands and has been using prescription drugs that were making her sick and not really helping. It reduced pain and inflammation, and in her own words, she wrote, "The BA lotion you sent for us is amazing, using it faithfully for a month and notating it reduced pain and inflammation. I've been on a journey to come off my arthritis meds and have been using this lotion liberally and had kept my hands and knuckles in excellent shape. It is subtle, and when I put it on, something is hurting. It isn't immediate, but an hour later, I realize I'm no longer hurting." Again, the conclusion was that it has anti-inflammatory properties, and it's keeping her pain and keeping it at bay. This was another one using the sacra, also for arthritis. This female has terrible arthritic chronic pain. We used the powder in the 00 vegetable tablets once a day, then increased it to 2 times a day. She has very bad rheumatoid arthritis all over her body. She tried several medications with her doctor, and she basically gave up. She saw that I was testing, and she decided to use it. After a month, she had hardly any pain in her hands, and her body actually started to feel better. She actually has asked me for more, and now I have more for her, and she's been using it, and it's really been helping her. This was used with Frankincense Boswellia carteri BA. Carteri BA is excellent for any type of skin pain, and it's being used for any type of skin cancer. It's basically, there are no long-term studies yet on it, but they've been finding that it has been shrinking certain tumors. And we found that it's actually working very well. With her case, she has eczema, and she gets bad flare-ups on her hands, and she gets these deep cracks in her hands. And she found that by using the extract in the lotion, that it has been helping, and it's getting rid of the cracks. And she has had this for a very long time, and she has found that it is working. And as you can see, and you read here by her testimonial, that it is actually working, and she has no pain, which is a good thing. In this case, this was very, very interesting. This was used also for, we used carteri. The client had bad wrinkles and sagging on her chest for years. She's tried all kinds of creams and lotion, and nothing has worked. She used the Boswellic carteri Boswellic acid in a hoba in a bottle just like this, and you can see the before of all the wrinkles and the imperfections on her skin, and 3 months later, this is the after. So it shows that it can help in all different types of chronic skin conditions on one's chest or any place else on the body. As you know, there are no long-term studies, but the people who did the testing for me were either aromatherapists or just the general public with absolutely no knowledge or education of how the Boswellic acid works. I'm still testing on different people, and I'm keeping a log on those who tested for me. There were 20 in total, and I'm just giving you a few. I do have more in a testimonial, and you can see it there. The Boswellia sacra resin BA extract powder has about 34% BA in it, and the carteri, which as this date was extracted with an organic alcohol solvent, was tested to have 70% BA in it. I've been researching this Boswellic acid extract for 5 years, and there's still testing going on today. It has been shown to make certain tumors inside and outside the body to shrink, but unfortunately, there are no long-term studies yet. I am keeping track of the people that are using it for me to see if it actually is shrinking tumors and keeping it away. I have one study which I did not put on here. She has a benign tumor on her face, and it has basically shrunk it and dissolved it. Do we know if it's going to come back? I don't know. I had one on my face, and it completely dissolved it, and it's no longer there. And the one that was on my face, I basically did it about 3 years ago, and it's gone. So we are still testing it. We are still working with it. If anybody has any questions about it, please, you can email me, or you can email me, and you can go to my website, and you can use my contact information, and I'm willing to give any information I have on it. And as I said, we're still doing future studies. Thank you for watching this. Again, if you need any more information, please do not hesitate to call me or email me. My email address is info@rbkaromatherapy.com. You could basically email me or go to my website and fill out my contact page and email me that way. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Have a good evening or a good day. What is going on here? I'm trying to stop it. Okay, let's stop it now.